Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hazman Nasrullah bin Sukiman, uh, and today I'm going to present about my project, which is smart parking system using web-based application. So, for the first part is about problem background. So, for the problem background for this project is people are not finding parking in a place, thus wasting time and energy. So, cities may be difficult to live in. Urbanization is ever increased, and city traffic is becoming increasingly congested. During rush hour, vehicles going to the store must spend at least 30 minutes looking for a parking spot. Those who are pressed for time will park illegally. Because of the current scenario, parking spots will be disorganized and unexpectedly overcrowded. This will result in a large number of parking lots blockades, making it difficult for drivers to park or exit the store. The procedure of entering and exiting will be difficult, and unexpected traffic will inevitably occur within the parking space. Therefore, these systems are created so the driver can have an effective and quick parking system. So next is the project aim. So the aim of the project is to develop an efficient system that are able to help the user find a parking spot more faster, time saving, and without causing or facing trafficking the parking lot. And the next one is project objective. So for the first objective is to help the system users in locating available parking space. The second one is to create a smart parking system for stakeholders. The third one is to test the functionality of the parking system in accordance with the user requirements. So for the project scope, the user is the one that goes to Aeon Skudai, and in this project we focus on the user who parks their vehicle at Aeon Skudai. So for this project, our stakeholder is Aeon Taman University, who is owned by Dato Iskandar bin Sarudin, which is administered by boards of directors. All maintenance, financial transaction, reporting, and other formal and minor process are completed and routed through the board of directors. The next one is about similar existing system. So about this part, there are three similar existing systems which have the same or may have same functions with the proposed project. So for the first part of the same system is Smart Park. Smart Park is a development management of parking technology. Its main function is to provide shopping centers, supermarkets, airports, commercial parking sites, university, and large-scale municipal street environment parking sensor that can detect if the parking spot is empty or not. Different platforms, such as smartphones, are supported by SmartPark. With our focus firmly on customer experience, our technology division, along with a rapidly growing global network of experts, aims to bring intelligent parking system and integrated smart parking solution to the world. So, for smart park system, The strength of the system lies on the first one is they can monitor the parking status real time and check on its availability time till date. The second one is they have a user friendly interface for a mobile based application. The third strength of the system is they use payment method in mobile on top of the existing money paper system. But contradict to the system is it costs a lot of to prepare all the equipments prior to system installation. The second one is Sunway Smart Parking. So for the Sunway Smart Parking system offers a multiple platform payment for user to pay the parking spot. User can use mobile phone apps that is compatible with the apps such as Android or iOS. Bank cards, money, and mobile wallets are all fully compatible with the system. The cashless and ticketless parking experience is part of Sunway digitalization journey to enable hassle-free experience for its shoppers. With Sunway Smart Parking, drivers do not need to retrieve and pay using a parking ticket when they enter and exit. So, for the strength of the system of Sunway Smart Parking, the first one is they provide real-time parking status monitoring. The second one, they offer payment in application function. The third one, installation of Sunway Smart Parking that are controllable through the mobile apps. Their weakness is first, there are no management platform that analyze business performance. And the second one is installing an IoT controller embedded quiet equipment is quite expensive. And the third system that has the same with the proposed system is Penang Smart Parking. Penang Smart Parking is a pioneer smart city project by Penang state government towards Penang 2030 on improving environmental, financial, and social aspects of urban life. It has a variety of equipment to meet the requirements of an advanced smart parking system, such as paying via mobile apps or e-coupon, parking time expiry reminder, and check compound and pay. So, for the Penang Smart Parking, their strength lies on first, they provide real-time parking status monitoring. The second one is the transactions are carried out using a highly secure, fast, and user-friendly payment platform. The third one is they improve enforcement by utilizing real-time integrated data from the Malaysian Road Transport Department. The fourth one is they minimize fine. They can minimize fine for late parking, deliver warning to users before their tickets expire. But for the weaknesses, their equipment is very costly. So this is a table to show the comparison between the current system and the proposed system. So comparing to the existing system and the proposed system, the part where the proposed system does not have is in-app payment only, which is there are no in-app payment in the proposed system, and the cost for the proposed system is intermediate, so it's not quite so cheap and it's not quite expensive. So for the hardware requirement for this project is, for the first one is workstation. which they use a, a workstation that has a processor of AMD Ryzen 7 3700U, which has RAM about 8 GB and a memory of 256 GB and operates on Windows 10. For the mobile device, they use a mobile device which has a processor of Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 and has the Android version of Android 8 and has 4 GB RAM and a 64 GB memory, which has a network access of cellular and Wi-Fi. And for the controller, microcontroller is Arduino Uno, which is a single board microcontroller type and has an IC 80 Mega 332 and 28P, which has a digital I/O pins of 14, 6 analog input pins, a 5V power voltage, a 7 to 20 voltage input voltage, DC current per I/O pin 20 mA, DC current for 3.3V pin is 50 mA, a flash memory of 32 KB, and SRAM EEPROM is 2 KB or 1 KB, and a clock speed of 16 MHz. And for the small single board computer, we choose the Raspberry Pi 3, which has a processor of 4 times ARM Cortex A53 1.2 GHz and have a Broadcom BCM 2837 and have a 1 GB RAM, a Broadcom GPU, and 8 GB memory, and have a 40 pin header, which has a HDMI video output. And for the sensor is we use the infrared sensor. So for the software that are included in this project is for the operating system, there is Windows 10 and Raspbian JC. For the development of the system is Microsoft Visual Code and Atom. And for programs of the microcontrollers is Arduino. And for the system used to operate Raspberry Pi is Raspbian JC. And the software that are used to describe and illustrate all the diagrams for the documentation of the system is Draw.io. And the last one is Overleafs, which are editors for report documentation. So for the outcome of PSM1 is, first is the use case diagram. Here we can see that the admin and the user have login and manage profile. Then the user have a receive notification alert user use case. For the smart parking system and the infrared system, they have monitor parking status and check parking availability use case. So for the first sequence diagram for the first use case, which is login, the user or admin will enter a form, then they will submit the form. The login controller will authenticate the info, thus confirming the login. After the login is confirmed, it will show message. If the info is wrong, they must authenticate the info back. That is for the admin part. for the user part, if the information is correct, they will go through confirmation of login first, and then they will show message. If the info is wrong, it will show message that the info is wrong and they must re-enter the information back. The next sequence diagram is use case of manage profile. So for the manage profile, the admin or user will go to edit profile, then they will have a form that can be filled out to update their profile. After that, they will submit the profile. Thus, after that, the profile controller will authenticate the info. To confirm the new info, they must enter password. If the password is wrong, it will show message which is the password is wrong. And if the email is wrong, it will show message the email is wrong. But if both is true and correct, it will save the data info and show message which is success. The next sequence diagram is check parking availability. So the infrared sensor will record the input and send it to the sensor interface. Then the sensor interface will send the input to the sensor controller. After that, the sensor controller will store the input to the sensor database. The next sequence diagram is alert user. So for this use case, the infrared sensor first will detect the parking. If the parking is empty, it will send to alarm controller, and the alarm controller will activate the alarm. After that, the notification controller will create a notification and send it to the database. The database will forward the notification to the user, and user will receive the notification. After that, the user will open the notification and examine the received message. Then the message will show what info that is contained to the user. The next sequence diagram is monitor parking status. So for the monitor parking status sequence diagram is the user will go to the smart parking monitor interface to monitor the status of the parking. After that, the smart parking monitor interface will show which parking is available or empty. Then the user will select the desired parking. Then the smart parking monitor interface will search the route to go to the parking spot. Then the monitor controller will get the data and send it to the sensor database. Then the sensor database will show the route to the parking. The next one is about activity diagram for login. So for login, the first one is it will show the login page. After that, it will tell to the user to enter email and password. After that, the user will click login to submit. During that time, the system will authenticate with admin database and user database. If the email and password are matched with admin database, it will show the admin page. And if the email and password are matched with the user database, it will show the user page. But if both is wrong, it will display unsuccessful message to the user. So for the next activity diagram is manage profile. So the activity diagram will start where the user will click the edit profile button. The user then are giving form which they can use to update their profile. After that, the user can submit their profile after they updated their profile. Then the system will verify the profile, which is their emails and password, their new emails and their new password. Then the system will verify the result. If the system cannot verify the result, it will show error message and the user must start back from early. But if the system can verify the result, it will save the updated details and display success message. The next activity diagram is check parking availability. So the sensor will be activated. Then it will record the input from the parking space and send the input to the system. While the sensor send the input to the system will store the input to the database. The next one is activity diagram for alert user. So for this activity diagram, the sensor will detect the empty parking. Then it will activate alarm and forward notification to the user. After that, the user will receive a notification and the user will open the notification, showing the message about the empty parking. The next activity diagram is monitor parking status. This activity diagram will start when the user clicks the monitor status. The user will select the parking while the system showing list of available parking. After the user have selected the parking, it will show the selected parking route. So this is the UML class diagram. The the admin have an admin ID, an admin email, and admin password. The admin diagram is connected to the user, which has user ID, user email, user password, and username. And the user is connected to the notification, which has notification ID and message type. The notification then are connected to the admin, which have a sensor ID and a sensor input. The next part we go is about the interface design of the smart parking system. For the first interface design is about login page. Here we can see that the login page where the user will enter their credential so they can log in to the account, or they can, if they don't have an account, they can register here. The next one is the user interface. So here for this page, this is where the user can find parking spot at the place they want. So they either can tap on the marker to view the parking location, or they can go to the search bar and find the place that they want and view the parking location. The next interface design is user manage profile. In here, the user can update their information such as their names, their username, their emails, or their password. The third interface design is admin manage profile. In this page, the admin can add a new user or delete a user. The admin can delete the user by pressing the trash can icon. And the last interface design is monitor parking status. So in this page, the user can see how many empty parking are there in a place. Then they can see which lot of parking are empty and which lot are available. Then they can press that parking lot and the system will show a route to go to the parking lot. And lastly is about PSM2 planning. Here you can see a Gantt chart showing the planning for PSM2. That's all for my presentation of this project. Thank you.